Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festivus and happy Kwanzaa to all of you out there. This is the Flights and Flicks episode of our Christmas movies. Joined by Ben, too, we're going to talk about a very random episode of just holiday movies that we decided to go with. And if you're joining Flights and Flicks for the very first time, what we do is we pair 4 different beers with 4 different aspects of a movie, starting with our story, character, filmmaker, and theme. And we discuss the elements of the movie that made us choose these beers. So we're going to get into the movies that we selected. And Ben, I always let you go first, but I'm chomping at the bit. So I'm going to go with the movie I selected, Ben, and it's Love Actually. I love this movie. When I was married, my wife and I watched it every Christmas more than once because it was so funny, so endearing. As it starts to, as you watch it year after year after year, you realize, wow, this movie only takes place within 4 weeks, but a lot of shit happens. Someone gets divorced and falls in love with someone else and gets married. There's a lot of holes. Puts me in the spirit, Ben, even when I feel like I don't have any Christmas spirit that year. So my pick was Love Actually.
I picked El Camino Christmas, which is a Netflix Christmas film starring Vincent D'Onofrio, Jessica Alba, Tim Allen, that girl who plays Katie in Letterkenny. It's a pretty good cast. It's solid. I chose that in part because it was made kind of recently-ish in 2017, and it's on Netflix. It's streaming, and as fans of the show know, I usually pick older films, stuff that you can find on DVD and Blu-ray. So I thought I'd be hip and go with something a little newer.
Christmas time in London. A group of semi-connected people experience love and loss during Christmas. It's beautifully set. It's amazing how many people are in this movie. Alan Rickman, Liam Neeson, Rick Grimes from Walking Dead. Andrew Lincoln is his name. Plays a character. There's so many amazing characters. Hugh Grant. The cast just goes on and on and on. I'm skipping so many because there's so... Well, Bill Nye, who is literally one of my favorite actors of all time. British actor.
Science guy.
I'm going to admit right off the bat, I had a hard time with this one because it's like a romantic comedy that takes place over Christmas in London. And that seemed like an easy task. But when I went out to search for my beers for those, it wasn't quite that easy. So what I chose for the story, because it takes place on Christmas, it's about love, I went with Enningern Brewing Company Bock Lager. It's a 7%. It's I'd never heard of a Bock Lager, but I guess in Europe that might be a thing. But you know what, Ben? Christmas is all around me. Come and let it snow. So we're gonna try this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's mad Christmassy. It's
Very nice.
mad. It tastes like a Bock. It doesn't taste like a lager at all.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to go down, though. I like it. I like it. It's very good. And it's an ensemble movie about a bunch of people falling in love. They all sort of know each other and they pop up in like various areas together, but it's not like a group of friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you have like an American woman who's out here taking care of her brother, and she's in love with this, Spaniard guy, and Alan Rickman, who is so great in this movie. Like, he's sort of fallen out of love with his wife, and he's being tempted by like his secretary. It's just, there's all these different elements of like people falling in love, falling out of love. The whole movie is a orgasm of like what it is to be in love, to fall out of love, to fall in love. So there's really no other way to say what the story is, because that's what the story is. So
my film El Camino Christmas is an ensemble comedy. Has a lot of different actors in it. And they all kind of have their own stories going on, but mainly their smaller stories converge into the main plot of the film, which is
sounds very similar.
No, it's not quite the scope of Love Actually, but all these characters, for whatever reason, end up in a hold up at a gas station liquor store in the middle of the desert. To get there, we have this character Eric, who's in town looking for his long estranged father, and he thinks it's Tim Allen. Tim Allen claims he's not his dad. He's just some washed up old Vietnam vet, which it turned out his dad was. And they go to have a drink together. Eric orders one Heineken, and I thought about that. But what felt more Christmassy to me was the 2 PBRs that Tim Allen ordered right away, right off the bat, 2 drinks. But I've done PBR. That drink is not at the gas station. But what is usually at a gas station is a nice Schlitz.
I saw that on the end there, and I was like, "Where's he going with this?"
I mean, it's like PBR is here, and then there's like Schlitz. You know what I mean? This film takes place at a gas station, and I thought a cheap beer would do. I like cheap beer. If anyone's paying attention out there, it's becoming more obvious. But I probably had a Schlitz in 10 years, 15 maybe. So let's give it a shot.
I think it's been about 10 years for me. Oh yeah, Ben, hit it.
Trust me, if I could have gotten, they didn't have 40s at the liquor store I was at. So. I guess like when I think of Schlitz, though, there's like a range of cheap beer, and like at the top, Yingling is the best cheap beer you can buy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Yanglings, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a Midwest beer. Like Schlitz is like nationwide.
Yeah. But here's the thing: Schlitz is like the floor, right? Schlitz is the last decent beer you get from cheap beer before the cheap beer becomes bad. It's very much the vibe, especially around like I know Tim Allen orders a PBR, but he's an alcoholic. He's drinking constantly throughout the film. I wish I could say in a funny way, but he's still pretty funny in the movie.
Polish it off, Ben.
There we go. Here's the Schlitz.
Because it's an ensemble cast, I chose one actor out of the film because there's so many characters. I went with the one and only Billy Mack, played by the amazing Bill Nighy, because he's basically the like trunk of the movie. Like the movie, nobody knows him. None of the other cast members know him, but he's always present because they're watching him on TV and he's doing it. Billy Mack is this aging rock star who has sort of been forced to turn his biggest hit in the 80s into a Christmas song. And he's so fucking funny. The way he talks about why this is happening. We just added 1 syllable.
Except we've changed the word love to Christmas.
Yes.
But the beer that I went with, because like I said, Ben, this was really, really hard. Zombie Staycation, and it is a holiday beer. You can see it's got the kind of the look of the Christmas Vacation look on there. It's a black cherry cinnamon vanilla holiday sour. And the fact that I found this, I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to try this. This is like when you get a plate of chili fries in front of you. You're like, holy crap, I can't wait. So I'm going to give this a whirl. The first thing I noticed was the smell. Holy shit, Ben. Holy shit.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I've never had, on Flights and Flicks, I've never had a flight that tasted exactly like the description. Black cherry, cinnamon, vanilla. There's not a lot of sour, but oh my God, that is so dangerous. Extraordinary fucking beer I think I've ever had in my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's all there, Ben. The black cherry, you can smell it before you taste it. The cinnamon hits you like a ton of bricks. Right off the roof of your mouth, the vanilla and the sour are what kind of finish you off with. fuck, dude, that is so good.
Ben, I'm really glad we switched up the order we go in, because I just don't know if my Schlitz would have hit the same after hearing you describe that beer.
Just to go really quickly on a small tangent of Billy Mack, he is one of the funniest characters, I think, in cinema history. If you watch the movie, every time you see him on camera, the mannerisms and the dialogue, the fact that he's always twitching, and he's just like, I'm just an old heroin addict at the end of my road trying to make a Christmas song that will beat like because this movie came out in 2004, so he would reference like Backstreet Boys and I just want to beat them on Christmas, and if I can beat them on Christmas, I will go stark naked on TV and play this song live. And it's just, he's so great.
Here's an important message from your Uncle Bill. Don't buy drugs. Become a pop star and they give you them for free.
And I do believe it's a commercial.
For my beer for character, I picked Jungle Boogie, pale wheat ale with rooibos tea. It's from Mars Community Brewing. It's 5.7%. I picked this beer because it made me think a little bit of Tim Allen's character in the film. So when Eric shows up to find his estranged father, basically Eric's mother has passed, and he found letters from him. And all he knows is that his dad, all he really knows, I guess, is that his dad was in Vietnam. And that's the main thing. And he goes to where he thinks he's staying. Tim Allen answers the door and says he doesn't know anyone by that name. He remembers some vet living there before he moved in, but that was like 6 years ago. And he convinces Eric to drive him to a bar where he says he'll tell him more about his dad, where he's already drunk when they show up, Tim Allen is. And he bumps some young dudes and tries to start a fight with them. And he fucking starts making fun of Eric, and he's not.
That sounds like Tim Allen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like it took me another when I saw Dax Shepard for the third time in the film, like, okay, so this is not a documentary. But so the movie goes on, and spoilers, Tim Allen was kind of full of shit, and he is Eric's dad. And you come to find out when he's stuck in the gas station liquor store with everybody, he starts talking about Vietnam, where he did serve, and he saw some messed up stuff, and it really affected him to the point where he felt like he was better away from his wife and away from his child. He became an alcoholic, and he says some funny stuff in the movie, but a lot of the alcoholism you see is pretty like it's real and a little brutal,
Is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy, but they get a little
like
dark.
a dark comedy.
Yeah, and then to be honest, you get towards the end there, some people die in the film. I won't get into that too much more, but like there's a lot of like there some of the themes, not the theme I got a beer for, but like there's themes of like regret, and stuff like that in the film. And like that's like pretty much everyone in the film has some kind of regret, where they're like running from something, or they hate themselves. Like they're self-loathing to an extent, whether that is them owning it or just having self-destructive behavior. But Tim Allen, without giving too much away, at the end of the film, really has this moment where he sees he can like redeem himself from what happened when he was in Vietnam. They really have like this father-son moment, and like I have a kid now, and I have a son, so like stuff like that, like it gets me right in the heart when I see stuff like that on screen. So Tim Allen ended up being like one of my favorite characters in the film, if not my favorite, and he was a scene stealer at times, and it reminded me of like other great films he's done, like even Galaxy Quest. Not that this is as like funny and out there as Galaxy Quest, but like he's just really good on screen, and he always seems to have something funny to say. So because I'm really sensitive to the troops thing, I got Jungle Boogie like Vietnam, baby. Woo! All right, it's funny alcoholism. That's not inappropriate at all. Well, first of all, again though, a pale wheat ale with rooibos tea. I can't spell this because I don't know how to pronounce R. Listen to this. It's spelled Rooibos. How do you pronounce that, Ben?
Oh, dude, I have no idea.
Rooibos? Rooibos.
That works. That works.
All right, there we go.
Give it a whirl, dude. Bottoms up.
It does have a little bit of a tea aftertaste,
As it's supposed to, right? Yeah.
I mean, I didn't read the warning about tea aftertaste, but it's there. Yeah, the top of it definitely has like that pale wheat ale like bite to it, you know. But here's the thing: in the middle, it's like flat. It's just like flat, dude. You know? Yeah. And I like to be positive about the drinks on the show. I think there's somebody out there.
You don't have to be positive when they suck. You know?
No, but this is the thing. It doesn't suck. I think there are people out here who would like this beer. I think especially if you don't like how strong pale ales can be sometimes, and then you want to try that. Like the tea on the back end is kind of sweet. I'm just not used to it. Honestly, like it reminded me of like an Arizona iced tea, like just like that little bit of tea sweetness, you know. So
I like that taste. Yeah.
So this is not one I would probably get again for myself, but I think people should try it because you might really like it.
So moving on to filmmaker, Richard Curtis. I love him. He's a director from Wellington, New Zealand. I couldn't find any New Zealand beer, but that's fine because he is known as one of Britain's most successful and talented romantic comedy writers. He's had a lot to do with things like Notting Hill. Obviously, he wrote and directed Love Actually, and one of my favorite films from 2002, About a Boy, with Hugh Grant. I love that movie so much. It's a sweet, endearing, wonderful story. And
is that the same child actor in that movie?
That's Nicholas Hoult.
He's in both films, right?
Yeah, cool. Nicholas Hoult is like a big actor now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what
grown
the cool
man who's like, a good, really turned into a really good actor.
Yeah.
Richard Curtis is, like I say, he's known as one of the best like romantic comedy writers in Britain. And because I couldn't find anything from New Zealand, because I don't even know if they make their own beer, I went with a beer that is really true to the the English spirit. It's an English pale ale. I've had this many times overseas in my time in the military, and it's called Old Speckled Hen. And it's very acquired taste. Like it's one of those like British beers that you don't always get cold. Sometimes you can drink it at room temperature or whatever. So I've had it before, but it was about 20 years ago when I had it. But I just thought, because he's such a national treasure to Great Britain and to like England and stuff like that, even though he's from New Zealand, all his romantic comedies have been based in London. I figured I'd pick a London beer. So Old Speckled Hen. And we'll give it a try because it's been a long time since I've had it. And I think I was really fucked up the last time I had it. It's delightful. It's delightful. Mm-hmm. There's nothing really much to say about it. It's delightful. It's foamy. It's creamy. Fish and chips and Old Speckled Hen. Yeah, fuck yes, every day of the week.
There you go.
But I love Richard Curtis's. I love his writing style. I love how he takes everything he does. He takes the male and the female perspective into account, and he never chooses one over the other. Even in something like this movie we're talking about, it's equal parts like male female love. Like there's a woman who is in love with a man, there's a man who's in love with a woman. It's so great. And he really understands love, which to me, I've always felt, Ben, that like I used to read a lot of Henry James novels. Mm-hmm. And when you read Henry James novels, you realize that the affection of love has never really changed. Even if the world has changed, like there's now cars when there was horses, and like everything has changed, but the affection of love is exactly the same. Falling in love with somebody and the way it makes you feel and the details of the way he writes is exactly the same. And I feel like Richard Curtis understood that completely. That's why there's like 20 different storylines going on in Love Actually all at the same time, because you can feel a little bit of every one of those inside you, as you fall in love with somebody. I think he's great. And Old Speckled Hen is what I chose for him.
Very well put, Ben. Thank you. Let me read a little bit about David E. Talbert's bio.
Sure.
He's a renowned playwright, filmmaker, author, and an influencer who has contributed indelibly to the landscape of the performing and visual arts for nearly 3 decades. Okay? So he's directed a bunch of stuff. It looks like he has 19 films, okay? 1/3 of them is like Christmas movies. In 2016, he did a film called Almost Christmas. Talbert, it will one day become so intrinsic to Christmas, he will be as much of as eggnog. Oh my God! My beer turned to eggnog. It's a Christmas miracle.
Yes.
So right now I have here. This is Screwball peanut butter whiskey done as an eggnog. I've had this whiskey. It's really good.
Oh, that sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah, it says to the misfits, black sheep, and the screwballs. Well, that sounds great, man.
Oh, look at that. That is like milk. I want to see a milk mustache, Ben. Nah, not that. How is it?
It's good, man. I mean, it's good. It's creamy.
Show the bottle again. Show the bottle again.
It's creamy. It's got a nice, smooth, like peanut buttery taste to it. Not too heavy. Not too heavy on the peanut butter. If you're not a big peanut butter person.
Well, I'm glad there's. Honestly, the peanut butter seems like a little out of place. But
the whiskey they make is peanut butter, so that's why it's in the eggnog.
I do like peanut butter whiskey. It's pretty.
Yeah,
good.
Me too. They make really good peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's just the tiniest little sting of just to tell you there's alcohol in it, but it's really good, dude. I might have one of these before bed tonight.
Damn, dude, that looks good, man. I want one of those right now.
Yeah, man.
So we're moving on to theme, which is our final category and our final beer here on Flights and Flicks Holiday Movie Edition. It's in this movie. Love is everywhere. Often it's not particularly dignified or newsworthy, but it's always there. Fathers, sons, mothers, daughters, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, old friends. Love is everywhere. You just have to find it. That's Hugh Grant from Love Actually. So Ben, as I've mentioned a couple of times, I had a really hard time finding something for theme because I wanted to find something about love. And I went through liquor stores and outlets and everything to try to find a beer that said love. Yeah. And I could not find one. But what I did find, Ben, was something that is very near and dear to my heart that I love.
What's that, Ben?
And it's always been this way. And it's pumpkin pie. Ooh. I love pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin spice. It makes me happy. I've been really sad this Christmas season, Ben, and I've had a hard time trying to get the Christmas spirit going, but this beer might change that. And this beer, Ben, is it's called Pumpkin Pie Treat, Pumpkin Spice, and Toasted Marshmallow Sour. And it's from Prairie.
Wow, that sounds really good.
Yeah, it does. I don't know if anything's going to beat this bad boy right here, but this is another Christmas beer. Let's see how it works. Pumpkin spice is there. Absolutely. Good sour. Toasted marshmallow, a little bit on the end. I got to say, it's all there. It's not perfect. It's not as good as this bad boy right here.
I was wondering. Okay. But would you say it also is like everything it says it is? You can taste.
It pretty much is everything it says.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a good batch this time, Ben.
I
That's
did.
pretty good.
I did.
Yeah.
Love Actually is such a. Forget about how funny it is, how well the screenplay is. All the characters are so endearing. It's so much about using the Christmas holiday to make you think about like what can you do? What can you gain? What have you lost? Can you do something more to tell somebody you love them? Are you doing too much? I love the movie because it's centered around. I mean, obviously it's a hardcore Christmas movie, but it also makes you think about the people that you love and should you tell them more often that you love them? And obviously the answer is yes. You should always do that, even if it gets to creepy levels. Always tell your friends, Ben, I love you.
I love you too, but I've seen you be creepier. That's all I'm going to say.
And if you can fall in love during Christmas, it's super, super special. So I love Actually. This was a wonderful beer for me to end on theme. That love is all around. It's everywhere. You just have to look for it, Ben.
That was a pretty wordy way to say the birth of our Lord and Savior makes you horny. But hey, man, if you can find love at Christmas. In the meantime, my much weaker beer. And I thought El Camino Christmas had some pretty good examples of like Christmas themes. So I just picked a beer called Christmas Ale since 1993. That's from Breckenridge Brewery. We like them. It's a malty, full-bodied winter warmer. 7.1% though. You can't argue with that. How could you get cold with 7.1%? It's good. It's good. I ain't quite sure how to describe it.
It's coming off the tail end of your.
Oh, I did have it. Hang on. Let me do a palate. That's a good point. Let me cleanse my palate with a Schlitz.
Yeah, it's coming off the tail end of your Fireball, which is amazing.
Oh, my screwball, yeah.
Screwball, yeah.
Ben, they did have Fireball eggnog, but I'm a peanut butter guy, so yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. This doesn't have a lot of flavor to me. I don't even.
There's
really
not much to it. Not much to it.
Yeah, not really.
A lot of those holiday beers are just sort of,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys. If you want to get drunk, it's 7.1%. I think there are tastier ways to get drunk. So yeah, but as I've said before, I won't waste a beer. So,
of course not.
There's a single mother whose son is mute, so you got a little bit of like Tiny Tim vibes from that. And when he does talk at the end, isn't that a Christmas miracle? You got family reconnecting with Tim Allen and Eric. Excuse me. Oh man, the one that really I thought was an interesting inclusion though is they didn't quite do a virgin birth kind of thing, but there's totally a pregnant Jessica Alba as a newscaster who when the standoff is happening in the police and the FBI are there, when it all ends and there's a dead person or two, basically her water breaks and she goes into labor. So I think it's Christmas Day at that point, so yeah, I don't know. This movie was an interesting balance of humor and drama and Christmas themes. It was good. It's a good movie overall. If you want something different and you've seen all the 80s and 90s ones a million times, you should check this out. But maybe a different beer.
So we're gonna go through our favorite beers of the night. I'm gonna go with Old Speckled Hen as my least favorite. I knew that was coming. It's fine. It's a British beer, whatever. It's just not that good. And then I'm gonna go with the Engren Brewing Company Bach Lager. It's fine. It's good. I liked it a lot. I am so torn on these two, man. I'm gonna have to say that my third favorite is probably the Pumpkin Pie Treat. It is fucking amazing, but this is one of the best beers I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
This is the fucking zombie slaycation is one of the best sours I've ever tasted in my entire life. So I'm going with that.
I thought this was going to be a hard choice, to be honest, but then I just didn't love most of my beers tonight. I really appreciate Schlitz. They only had 12 packs and it was like $8.50. Like I almost felt like I got paid to drink beer in a sense. But it tastes all right,
It's fine.
But it's Schlitz. It's not going to win, But here's the thing: if I'm being honest, like second place with Schlitz, second place for me. Because here's the thing: I didn't love these other two. Okay, this was at least new and interesting to me. Like the tea, especially like the tea after taste, like it was interesting. And honestly, if I had more of it, maybe I'd grow to like it. Okay, I'd grow to love it even. Probably not. Let's step that back. But this guy, there's like no flavor to it. I didn't like it, So I told myself that I was not going to pick the eggnog because it's not a beer. But again, Christmas Miracles, I am going to pick the eggnog. It was the best tasting thing I had all night. It's a good alcohol content. It's 14.75%.
It looks like the best thing to me, Ben.
yeah. It's so smooth, and I gotta be honest with you. I probably should not have any more after this one.
Let's do it, Ben. Let's do it.
That's my last one of the night. Hey there.
I'm having my favorite. You're having your favorite. Cheers, my brother.
Now don't open till Christmas.
Hey,
cheers, man.
Happy holidays, Ben.
Happy holidays, Ben.
Ho ho ho! I want 15 more of these motherfuckers. 15 more. Mm-hmm. Thanks everybody for watching the holiday movie version of Flights and Flicks. Merry Christmas, everybody. And Ben,
leave Santa milk and cookies, but drink your cinema.
That's why I'm drinking. I'm gonna drink all day. I'm coming home for Christmas and my family's insane. Just gotta make it through the day and there's no other way. Gonna get drunk on Christmas.